I'm an old prosecutor. I like to get close to my jury. I wouldn't stand behind something like that unless I thought you were going to shoot at me, and we ought to be fairly safe right about now. My assignment today is fairly easy. I was asked by Bob to come in and just simply remind you of things that you already know, to sort of to tell you about what you're already concerned about, and maybe give you a bit of energy to go back and to continue staying in the fight. I know that I've got to stay a tad bit away from the political piece, but let me just mention just a little background. Back a while ago, before there was a national election, when everything was settled on our side, you may have been watching the Republican National Convention and may have been watching us in St. Paul, Minnesota, and you might have watched a guy in the middle of that basketball arena have the great honor to put in the name of John McCain to be President of the United States. And that was me. And you may have heard me speak the day before. I said I supported Senator McCain because he understood that he wanted to win the war in Iraq, not simply end it. That he had enough sense to say you don't raise taxes in the middle of a recession. And quite frankly, he was smart enough to say if you want to put some sizzle in the steak, you get you a good-looking woman with 5 letters in her name, P-A-L-I-N. But I went further, my friends, and we said a couple other things. Interesting thing, so many of us, we left Minnesota just buoyed by the prospect of maintaining the White House, but more than 50% of Americans disagreed with us. And so some of us woke up one day in November and said, how much harm can a man do in 4 years? And now we know what you can do in 17 months. My friends, think about it. Those of us right here, we heard the whole cry for hope and change. Right now, we just hope he changes. And there's a reason. And there's a reason we hope he changes. We hope he changes because you have got to cut federal spending. You've got to end the earmarks. You've got to stop this slide towards European-style socialism. My friends, think about what's happening today. A child born today, their parents get 2 things. They get a birth certificate in one hand, and they get a federal debt bill for $53,000 in the other. Because we are engaged in generational theft, stealing from the future. I want you to just think about it. This administration has amassed debt greater than every president from George Washington to George W. Bush combined. And my friends, with you gathered here, you can help stop that. You stopped it in New Jersey. You stopped it in Massachusetts. And you know what? Pretty soon our friends and neighbors, they're going to stop it in Nevada. They're going to send Harry Reid back to the house, y'all. But not only do we have to stop spending, we've got to unleash the free market. We've got to take those entrepreneurs and innovators and turn them loose to create wealth and prosperity. My dad is a former high school football coach. In 2000, Dad was inducted into the Texas High School Coaches Hall of Fame. And Dad would tell you something. When your team's not playing well, you might want to look around to see who's winning. And the interesting thing, when you look at countries that are winning, that are attracting talent and capital and creating jobs, many of them have done one simple thing. They moved to a low, simple, flat tax so they can turn loose entrepreneurs. My friends, in turning loose entrepreneurs, what I do each and every day is to try to make sure that America has abundant supplies of affordable, clean, reliable, and safe energy. And I know you're focused on what's going on in the Gulf, and so am I. What's happening in the Gulf of Mexico and Horizon drilling is a tragedy. It's a tragedy, and it's one that we could have avoided. But let us not make a mistake. We have an obligation to go get every barrel of American energy in America and produce American energy for America. We can produce energy safely here at home, and we do it in Texas every day. My friends, I just want to remind you of some of the challenges that we have. We are the greatest nation on this earth, and we want people to come here and be part of America. We know that people all through centuries have come to America for a better life, and we want them to continue doing that. But we standing here and sitting here this evening, we know there is a way to come to America. And the way you come to America is consistent with the rule of law. And my friends, when you come to America, coming to America is about more than simply coming to get a job. Coming to America is about becoming an American. And one of the things that one must do as part of becoming an American is to learn English. My friends, my time is short, and I just want to leave you with two stories from my life. Back in 1986, I was a 33-year-old prosecutor at the United States Department of Justice in the Reagan Justice Department. I was the prosecutor assigned the case the United States of America versus 5 members of the Carolina Knights of the KKK. I had indicted those 5 individuals for conspiring to obtain stolen military weapons from Fort Bragg and other military installations across the South. If you go to the records of the United States Senate, those records would say that I tried those cases under no small risk to myself. Individuals who had harmed others in the past had put a death warrant out against me. I tried several cases under the armed protection of federal agents. At the end of the day, those 5 individuals got a taxpayer-paid trip to a federal institution of higher learning. Four years later, I was the Assistant Secretary of Education for Civil Rights at the United States Department of Education under President George H.W. Bush. It's the same position that Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas had under President Reagan. And I issued a proclamation that said that colleges and universities should discontinue assigning seats in their classrooms and providing financial aid dollars to their students based upon their bloodline. The New York Times said it was a frontal assault to race-based affirmative action, and it was. So why do I tell you the two stories? As I go around this state in this country, this is probably my 16th or 17th Tea Party. You're telling me that what you're looking for from those of us that have the great honor to serve you is that you're looking for consistent conservatives who have the courage to stand up to Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, and President Obama, and who can marshal the next generation of conservative ideas and solutions. I have to think that the courage that was in that young 33-year-old and the commitment to conservatism that was in that 37-year-old is still in this 57-year-old man as he stands here. And as we march along together to take back this country, if you're looking for somebody to stand right next to you, to get in the bunker with you, call me.